Back on Sports Overtime, INDYCAR in a bit of a pause right now with a couple weeks off. Figured it was a good time to welcome in Bruce Martin of Speed Sport Magazine, get his take on the season so far and, of course, the home stretch. Bruce, we're in the middle of about a 4-week break right now, and INDYCAR, after getting some really good viewership numbers the past couple weeks, now they hit a lull. You figure they're losing a little momentum, but I'm sure the series is happy with the racing it's had so far. Still would rather be racing this weekend, of course.
Well, part of the reason the pause is as long as it is because we should have been in Toronto this weekend at the Honda Indy Toronto, the annual street race in Toronto. But they're still fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. Not enough people have been vaccinated. The numbers are high, although there is some positive signs there with the fact that the Blue Jays may start being able to play back in Toronto, maybe by the end of August. But that wouldn't have worked for the July INDYCAR race. The other part of the pause is obviously NBC's televising the Olympics. INDYCAR is part of NBC's television package. And the Olympics on every platform that NBC covers, there wasn't really any room at the end. Even NASCAR is going to take a 2-week break during the Olympics because they're also on NBC. But as far as momentum, I think INDYCAR has built up some tremendous momentum and is highlighting and showcasing some great new names in the series, like Alex Palou of Spain and Pato O'Ward of Mexico. I think this has a lot of elements to it that we haven't seen in recent seasons.
When you put those two together along with Scott Dixon, third in the championship right now, Joseph Newgarden, after his win last week, is fourth. It looks like a 4-driver race down the stretch. And hey, even with a pause right now, if that championship battle really heats up over the next few races, INDYCAR gets everything it would like down the stretch for these last few races, right?
Well, the interesting thing about Joseph Newgarden is he's fourth in the standings, 69 points back, got his first victory last week on the 4th of July at the Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course, but he had some really good races the 2 races before that, when it was either a situation like the Firestone Reds finally losing their grip toward the end of the race, or a shifting issue that he had on a restart at Road America. He's been a guy that's been very consistent, but he just had a lot of hard luck, and everybody was asking, what's wrong with Team Penske? Why aren't they winning? Joseph Newgarden had proven that he was capable of winning, but it was the little issues. Now that they're out of the way, it's going to be interesting to see what he's able to do the rest of the way in this championship fight. He's only 69 points back with 6 races to go.
Is there a clear favorite among these top 4 championship contenders right now? I mean, Scott Dixon obviously has the pedigree, as does Newgarden, multiple times winner, but the 2 young guys, especially Palou, has been very consistent this year, and that's certainly why he's on the top right now.
I think that Palou's really been a great surprise this season. A lot of people have always been high on Alex Palou, even when he was coming up through the ranks. He's a name that we often heard of, but he's really proven now why he's at Chip Ganassi Racing. He's very consistent, and as Joseph Newgarden said after his victory last week, of all the new drivers, all the young drivers that are in, he thinks Palou is the most complete race driver out of the bunch. That's saying a lot because Pato O'Ward, in a lot of ways, has also been very consistent, except he tripped up a little bit last week at Mid-Ohio, and that cost him in the race. But those 2 young drivers are really infusing a lot of new, fresh talent into the series, and I think that's really good for the future.
That is Bruce Martin. Check out his work with Speed Sport Magazine. Bruce, appreciate the time today.
Thank you.
Sports Overtime will be right back.